Hello and welcome to the KHU 5-a-side preview. We have a tournament that is starting tomorrow. Okay, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Simon Mwangi and this is Hockey KE's preview of the 5-a-side KHU tournament. And with me, I have Moses Majiwa. Moses.
Yep.
Karibu sana to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you for having me. I'm tired but happy because we've just been having an event. So thank you for having me this evening.
Okay, no problem. Before we continue, what is the event about?
We were having a charity golf tournament at Railway Golf Club, where Wazalendo Hockey Club was doing an event to raise funds towards the budget for the Africa Cup of Club Championship, which is to start in Ghana from 24th of November to 30th of November.
Okay. Anyway, we'll mention that much later during the show. KHU are holding a 5-a-side tournament. It's to bring back hockey. Hockey is back. Why did KHU decide to have an open tournament first instead of the league?
First thing, we want to appreciate that it's been long since we had any hockey activity, and this has been occasioned by the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. I know several other sports have come back. However, I think maybe because of skepticism and perhaps uncertainty about the measures that are coming in to mitigate this disease. That's why perhaps the uptake of, say, vaccination and also PCR testing has been very slow among the hockey fraternity. But now we are happy the fraternity is embracing these measures. And that's the reason why we said, okay, those who have embraced these measures, let's have an open tournament for them.
Okay, which teams have confirmed participation for this tournament?
For now, we actually have the Kenya Police. We are going to have 2 teams from Kenya Police. Remember, it's a hockey 5, which means each team will consist of a maximum of 9 players. And therefore, Kenya Police will bring in 2 teams. Western Jaguars will have 1 team. Strathmore University will have 2 teams. And Wazalendo Hockey Club will also have 2 teams. That is on the men's category. In the women's category, we have Sliders will have 1 team. Strathmore University will have 2 teams. And Blazers will also have 2 teams. So this will be able to occupy us this weekend, starting tomorrow, and next weekend on 9th and 10th of October.
Okay, so this weekend you're going to have the, I'm a Kikuyu, so this word is quite difficult for me to pronounce, preliminaries. And then next weekend you're going, sorry?
Yes, you got it right. This weekend, 2nd and 3rd, we are going to have the preliminaries. And then on the 9th and 10th, which will be next weekend, we are going to have the classification matches and the finals.
Okay. So, is there a trophy, prize money, or is it just for fun?
Okay, first and foremost, you must appreciate that we are coming from a long period of lull of hockey. And therefore, the first thing is the excitement to actually get back onto that turf. And therefore, the best we can do for now is basically have a trophy to be able to appreciate the winners. But we are not doing this tournament really for winning per se. It's about welcoming people back into the sport. A big indication that hockey can actually be able to take off even within these circumstances that we are in. So we welcome the players who have already confirmed participation. You come, enjoy yourself, and appreciate the fact that we are back into the sport.
Yeah, it's amazing to have the sport back. I think we've said for how long? 18 months?
18 months and counting.
Oh, 20
So
months?
that
Yeah,
will end
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that will end
tomorrow.
too. Uh-huh. And what were the qualifications for the tournament, for the teams to be allowed to play in the tournament?
Being an open tournament, it was open to both men and women hockey players. Because of the guidelines that have been given by the Ministry of Health and also the Ministry of Sports, the main qualification for you to participate in this tournament is to have a PCR negative certificate.
Yeah.
This is an indication of your status as at that time when the tournament is happening. Every sport right now, testing is done on a very regular basis, and therefore this is going to become the norm. So we want to start from there, make sure that you have a PCR negative certificate for you to be able to be admitted. Just to a rejoinder to this, unfortunately, we are not going to have fans, but there are media houses which will be allowed in who can stream this onto the social media pages. Then for the hockey fans can be able to follow this from wherever they will be.
Okay. Speaking of fans, we have my good friend John Njuguna who's joining us. Njuguna, karibu sana. Njuguna.
Sorry, I had muted. You know this new technology, man. You get to.
you are a trained journalist, my friend.
It's good to have hockey back. At least on THR we get to talk about hockey tomorrow and beginning today also, and it's such a good thing.
Amen.
Yeah, so you found Majiwa telling us that unfortunately there won't be any fans in the stadium. What are your views about that? Because you know this is due to the COVID-19 protocols. You now, Njugush, as a fan, how do you feel about it that hockey is back, but you don't have a chance to go and watch it?
I think
that is live. I think Majiwa says that we'll have a live stream, but I mean being back to the stadium to watch the games.
It's interesting times, and you would not put the blame on KHU or Majiwa, who's in charge of the matches and fixtures, because you know, at the end of the day, if anything goes wrong, we don't want to hear Majiwa in court answering to.
Thank you for being my lawyer.
I think it's good to just play safe first of all, because the conditions are very strict that the ministry has put in place. You must have a PCR test, including us as journalists. We need to have a PCR test done so that we're able to access the stadium. This is also in case of anything that happens, then it's able to trace anything, and so it's a really good thing. I think for me, one question, I don't know if you had already asked him, but I would want to ask you, how many teams probably have confirmed, and have they come with proof to show that this is done and it's ready?
Thanks a lot, Juguna. As I already mentioned to Simon, we have 7 men's teams and 5 women's teams, and all of them have already provided us with proof that they have undertaken the PCR test, and the players who are going to participate have a negative PCR result. We also have match officials who are also tested, and they also have a PCR negative results. And therefore, these are basically the bare minimum that we can actually have for this particular tournament. Remember, the success of this tournament will actually usher in the coming in of the sport basically in full. But we want to encourage as many of the players and officials of the various hockey clubs to actually take this test. They are important. take the vaccination. It's very important. You see the Minister for Health singing this every day. You are talking about transformers not working. I mean, there is no proof for that.
that is Njugush is one of the guys saying it.
Let people go for the test. Let people take the vaccine.
Simon, stop spoiling my name. I will now ask Majiwa to be my lawyer and sue you for defamation.
Anyway, now some of the comments. We have Colo Magneto who's asking, why is it not an 11-a-side tournament? I think that's directed to Moses Majiwa.
Thank you very much, Kolo. We would have loved to have an 11-a-side tournament, but as I've mentioned earlier, the reception of the protocols that have been put in place, the acceptance is gaining traction slowly by slowly. As you are seeing yourself, even the minister is actually appealing to the public. And you can even see even the public figures. Kenya has a population of almost 50 million, but only about 3 million have taken the first shot of the vaccination. 3 million. The adult population could probably be half of that, about 25, 28 million. But only 3 million have taken the vaccination. So you can translate that back into the hockey fraternity. The uptake of vaccination and the uptake of the PCR testing is very low. So we want to encourage many hockey players, we want to encourage many hockey officials to take up the vaccination, take up the PCR test, and then we will have as many teams as possible to take up this tournaments.
Awesome. And then we have Fabi Bruce who's saying, thank you very much for resuming the games. I think that's also directed to Majiwa and Kenya Hockey Union. Now, anyway, in terms of the PCR tests, are the tests that were done for this weekend valid for next weekend? Or do the teams require another round of testing before the following weekend of the semis and the final weekend?
A PCR test is usually valid for 14 days. And therefore, we have for this first test, we have gone our way to look for affordable providers for this test, and therefore the test taken now will be valid for a fortnight. After which, then the players and the hockey fraternity who are participated will be required to take another test. But the first thing is, please take the first test.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Njugush, any questions?
I think for me, it's just to ask about the counties that are outside Nairobi. What's the plan to go into the counties in terms of, making sure that they don't feel left out in terms of, playing the sport. And we know majority of the clubs are from Nairobi, but we have seen that, there are other clubs that are outside Nairobi. So what's the plan for the teams that are outside Nairobi?
Thank you very much, Njugush. We are actually speaking to the affiliates of the Kenya Hockey Union, who are the county hockey associations, and we have involved them in this process all along. They are coordinating the vaccination and PCR testing at the county level. And if I can just remind you, Western Jaguars is one of the teams which come from outside Nairobi. They participated in the PCR testing, and they are going to travel over to Nairobi for the tournament. So the teams outside Nairobi are not left out. We will bring them in gradually as they also take up the vaccination and also the PCR testing.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Now we can see that you are wearing a suit, and there is a lot of background noise. What is it all about? I know you had mentioned it earlier before, but Njugush was not available. He was making his ugali for dinner.
Well, Simon, it has been a very exciting day for Wazalendo Hockey Club, and we owe all this to Kenya Railway Golf Club. who have accepted to have the first ever charity golf tournament in favor of a hockey club. We were here at Railway Golf Club, where I am still, in the skies. I don't know where the moon is, but it's cool here. We've just finished the presentation, and it has been an awesome day.
It's raining
Okay.
in Westland. It's
Sorry,
raining in
Jugosh?
Westland. That's why you can't see the moon.
Okay, that's good that it's raining there. I think
I'm
God
saying
has
it's
held
raining in
the
Westland.
heavens
That's why
this side.
Mm,
Yes, God has held the heavens this side, so it's not yet raining on our side.
Okay. So, any other developments? Because Njugush was waiting for the floorball tournament to participate. I don't know whether the tournament is still on or it happened.
He should come for golf. You know, Njugush, golf is
Mbona unaniharibia
a
jina
game
na
of
mimi nataka
gentlemen.
kucheza Masters League.
It is
Golf is-
on record.
As a gentleman, please come and play golf. Golf is a game for gentlemen, and Railway Golf Club is an awesome place. Come and play golf. Yeah, Njugush, please come.
Now there is a question here, Moses.
I know who to talk to. One Kimanzi I know is a frequent at that club, so I will have a word with him so that he can invite me to the green one day.
Okay. Now let me read this tournament. It's a pretty long one. It says it's from Dombela Sikwata. She asks, I'm not sure if this has been asked already, but I'm sure that I'm asking for so many others. Everywhere else in the world, stadiums have been opened for everyone vaccinated. How sustainable are the PCR tests? And why don't you take the players who have been vaccinated instead? Every 2 weeks for players, so every 2 weeks the players have to pay for the tests. So I think those are the questions that the stadiums have been opened all over for everyone who's been vaccinated. Is there a possibility for the stadiums to be open for those who are vaccinated? Number two, how sustainable are the PCR tests? And why can't the union or the government, for that matter, admit those who are vaccinated?
Thanks, Simon, and thanks, Dombela, for your questions. They are very valid questions, and we are looking into how we can be ensure that our players are safe when they are coming into the sport. But I want to remind you, just recently, Australia actually pulled out, Australia and New Zealand pulled out of major FIH tournaments because of the same measures that are being put in place to manage the pandemic. The pandemic, the COVID is still there with us. And therefore, we have to take all the precautions to make sure that whatever we do, all those who are involved are safely involved in the sport. As we gradually come back, remember, it's all about how the people who are coming back are embracing the measures and implementing them. If they come in and implement them safely and they are okay, then we will continue to open our stadiums, we continue to open our sports. But the minimum that was set for us by the Ministry of Health and by the Ministry of Sports is actually for us to take the PCR test for those who are going to participate in the sport. And that is basically what we have done. And all we are asking for is, please let us follow the guidelines given by the Ministry of Sports and the Ministry of Health. If we do that, then we'll all be back into the sport. We will all open our stadiums.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention as well that these protocols are not set by Kenya Hockey Union. They are set by the government, as Engineer Moses has said, that these are protocols set by the Ministry of Sports in conjunction with the Ministry of Health. So pretty much KHU's hands are tied on this matter. Or how do you think about this, Jugush? Jugusha has gone to eat his ugali.
I'll help Juguna.
Okay. Yes,
Sorry, my
Jugush.
internet got disconnected a bit. Come again.
No, I'm saying that KHU's hands are pretty much tied in matters regarding admitting players and fans to the stadium, because the protocols are set by the government vis-a-vis the Ministry of Health and Sports. What is your view on this? Because as Dombela has stated that in other countries, as long as you're vaccinated, you can be admitted to the stadium.
But I think is that the rule for Kenya? Is that what Ministry of Health has allowed to? Because again, looking at our numbers in terms of vaccination, we are still very low. I don't know if Majiwa has done.
He has mentioned. He has mentioned that only 2 million, if I'm not wrong, Mr. Majiwa. Probably repeat the statistics. Probably repeat the statistics for
in the whole country. In the whole country, only 2 million plus people, adult population, have taken the vaccination. I mean, at least the first shot. I am sure 800,000 plus have taken the two jabs. Okay, so even if you look at the overall population, the reception of the vaccination is very low. Okay, now when you come into the hockey fraternity, it is even much lower. So we are encouraging people, let's go for the vaccination, let's go for the PCR test, and let's get back to the field.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Jugush, you've had the stats.
I think he's answered my question. He's answered my question, because I was going to ask if a population, what's the population in terms of the hockey fraternity that has taken the jab and are now and are able to so that we are able to know, and I think with that we're able to substantiate what Ndombela is saying, that are we able to now allow more people to come in. I know there was talk of and the Secretary General and the President alluded to this 3 weeks ago when we had an interview with them, that they will only allow event training in the grounds, KHU, the field itself, people who have a valid vaccination certificate, so or rather a PCR test. But I think it's a good rallying call, even for us to just ask anyone who is a player, anyone who loves the sport and really wants to get back to it, to go and take the vaccination, so that we are able to rally more of this conversation.
Yeah, I think Moses has just left. Of course, where he is a bit noisy, and he was running the. He was among the guests of honor in that Wazalendo golf tournament. But let's continue with you, Njugush. Now, we know that a lot of teams and a lot of players say that they are struggling and they won't be able to have the PCR tests in every now and then. And they are calling for the union to assist them. Of course, we heard from the union, they said that they can assist them to get somewhere that it is cheap. But I've had a conversation with one or two guys, and they feel that the test should be free. What is your view? Do you think that the test should be free? Is this part of the union's responsibility, or is it something that the teams have to take up and probably write to the government or something?
Simon, let's be honest. Ni vaccine tutapewa za bure ama ni PCR test which needs to be taken as frequent as possible. If you ask me, because let's take advantage of the vaccines that we are being given right now by the government, because I mean it doesn't hurt. Which one is it? Is it Moderna that takes 2 weeks? A span of 2 weeks, and
the Johnson and Johnson,
the Johnson and Johnson one. No, Johnson and Johnson is one jab, but Moderna, if I'm not wrong, is is one that takes 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks' time, you have your full jab. I took the AstraZeneca one, which takes 4 weeks before you get your full jab. And so let's just take advantage of that. Let's get our immune system in place. Let's stick to the rules or the things that are told by the Ministry of Health rather. And the sooner we do this, the better, because if the whole fraternity of hockey, let's take a quick mathematics, and I know you went to school, you can do this maths very quickly. We have over 48 clubs, if I'm not wrong. 8 clubs. Let's stick to the minimum of 16 players, or let's say 18. Those are how many people?
If you 48 times, let's say 20 players times 48.
Yes.
It comes to around 960.
That's 960. That's a good number in the population.
Yeah, that's a good number.
If the union can go and say, hey, look here, all our players are vaccinated, give us a lower rate that we can have these people being tested periodically. Kwambo has Michael Kwambo, the communication, one of the communications directors for Kenya hockey, for Kenya Rugby Union, has even alluded to this. I mean, they have approached the government, and the government has found a subsidy for them. So I think it's our role to play, and as players, as stakeholders, so that we make sure that this thing is both ways. We help the union be able to advocate for us to get what we need and get these sports back.
Yeah, anyway, thank you very much, Jugush. I don't want to keep you here. It was just a preview for the tournament, and we are happy that hockey is back. Remember, tomorrow we are going to have our normal podcast with Jugush, my good friend here, the THR podcast, from 10 a.m. and it's a very interesting one coming up. We are continuing with the topic about the state of hockey in the country, and our guest will be Peter Setera, or is it Ketera? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Let me just call him Peter.
Kama umetoka kwenye mimi nimetoka jirani yake. Nasema tu
okay. Yeah, so he will be coming in tomorrow to discuss about the state of the sport, especially at county level and at grassroots level. So I hope to see you, of course, with you, Jugush, tomorrow at 10 a.m. courtesy of ACK. It was me, Simon Mwangi, for a quick preview of the tournament. We are going to be giving you updates on our page as well, so make sure you keep it at Hockey KE, and as well, I'm sure Njugush will post on his page. Njugush, can you tell us which are your pages?
At Hockey Kenya. Yes.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get Majiwa to tell us where we are going to watch the live stream of the matches. Any further comment, Njugush, before we end this live podcast?
No, I think for me it's just I'm happy that hockey is back. Tulikuwa tunaingiliwa sana, tunaongelea juu ya ligi za kwingine na to mention za Kenya. So now at least we have something to talk about. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, just having the tournament play on, and keep it Hockey Kenya, keep it Hockey KE, keep THR tomorrow, even as we give you on this.
Yeah. Anyway, Majiwa has told me that his battery died. We understand he was up and about all day at Railways Golf Club. Remember that Wazalendo also continuing with their drive to get funds to participate at the ACCC. Is it ACC 2020 or 2021 now? I think it is still 2020.
I think it's
so support the club. Support the club by buying tickets. By buying raffles. The grand draw will be a fully paid ticket to go and watch them play. So until next time, guys, cheers, bye-bye.